Everybody. Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Today is Friday the 18th. It is 6:40 in the p.m. I'm currently walking away from the mall. So if you hear random traffic noise and whatnot, I'm sorry. Can't really do much about that. Today was also payday, so saw a rash of people coming to and from my work to collect and cash their paychecks, as my particular place of business allows you to not only get your actual paycheck, but cash it at the register if they have the money on hand, which I find to be interesting because, yeah, you could cash it there for free, but why don't they just give you the physical cash? But then again, that would mean that every Friday they would have a lot more money in their till, but anyway. Speaking of work, I have been presented with a little bit of a conundrum. Somebody, and I'm not gonna name names or even what position that they work in or what department or anything like that, but somebody that I work with has, whether knowingly or not, they came to work acting a little bit weird today. And I jokingly said, "Dude, are you high right now?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I went about my day backing his story that he was just really tired, because several other people made mention that he was a little off today. Now, I have no problem if somebody wants to do whatever they want to do in their free time. I don't care. If you want to go home and get shit-faced drunk, all more to you. I don't care. If you want to go home and do illicit drugs, go right ahead. In the freedom of your own home, I don't care what you do. The only problem I have is when people come to work in such states. Now, this isn't the first time that this particular individual has come to work acting weird. It's just the first time that I posed that question. And I fully meant it as a joke. And he answered truthfully. So, now, if somebody from my work asks me, somebody management-wise asks me who this is, I will feel inclined to point that out to them. I don't necessarily want to get this person in trouble, because they still did their job, clearly today not to the best of their ability. But nonetheless, now if they were a person that comes to work often like this and did not do a great job, then I would be a little bit more inclined to point out to upper management, hey, this is the deal. But I'm not that kind of person, really. I mean, it didn't affect the workflow. It didn't affect the customers. It, didn't do any of that. But keep in mind, I'm not a manager per se, but I am a coordinator. So I am in a leadership position. So I feel somewhat confused right now, because really I should point this out to somebody. But again, this person is a very good worker at what they do. They're actually one of the best people in their particular position. So I don't want them to be in trouble because of circumstances. So I'm kind of confused as to what to do. At the moment, I'm going to choose to do nothing, because I think that might be the best course of action, being as in my mind, this is a one-time kind of infraction kind of thing. But, like I said, though, if this person or if any other person were to do this in the comfort of their own home or out with friends or whatever else, I don't give a shit. You're not affecting where you work. But when it starts to affect your job, that's when I raise questions. On a completely different note, it is 7 days until Christmas, and I'm walking closer and closer to traffic, so if you start to hear traffic a lot more, I'm sorry. But it is 7 days until Christmas, and I have been at the mall probably for the last, let's say it's 6:40 right now. I've been at the mall for the last hour and a half, both between buying gifts and just honestly people watching. Took a time-lapse video of people entering and exiting the mall, which I'm sure you're either watching or have seen by now or are whatever. I'm going to put on this video. But, the amount of people coming and going, that was in that 30-second clip or however long it really is. I might loop it once or twice, but in that little clip, it was only taken in 12 minutes. That's the amount of people that came and went through the entrance of the mall in a 12-minute time span. Now, if you picture that's one entrance, and there are X amount of entrances and exits, and no doubt in my mind that wasn't even the most populated one. There's a lot of fucking people over here right now. And I just got a text message. So, yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm going to press the button. A lot of people. So I'm going to turn this off for a second so that I can actually hear you and you can hear, I can't hear you because this is a one-way conversation, but I'm going to turn this off for a second so that you can hear me and get through this light, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Welcome back. It is currently a little bit after 9:30 on December 18th. I was hoping to just pick up recording where I left off, but as happens sometimes, it didn't quite fare well. Decided to delete the evidence that it ever took place, and here I am. Oh, sorry, weird burp. So, while I was at home, because that's where I have been the last few hours, decided to finish a television show that I started. It is called Childhood's End. Sci-fi original 3-episode stint. Each episode being about an hour and 40 minutes long. Television time puts it at about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on commercials. So each episode into itself is a movie. Very well done for a sci-fi. I mean, mind you, sci-fi original series have been kind of blowing out of the water for a while now. But tonight specifically, very well done. If you had a chance to see it was on television recently. And by recently, I mean within the last week. It was on Sci-Fi. They did 3 episodes across 3 nights. So it's highly possible that you didn't get to see all 3. So, spoiler alert, if you want to go see it, probably don't want to listen to the rest of this. So, Childhood's End says it begins in 2016. There is a rash of alien spacecraft that go across a bunch of major cities of Earth. And, sorry, I can get past this. There's a semi-truck parked right now, in real life, right next to me. And it's actually a little bit colder than I would have liked. I wore my light coat right now. But anyway, okay, television show, Childhood's End. Spacecraft over like 30 or so major cities. And suddenly, after the spaceship, just before the spaceship, go above the major cities, every plane just kind of slowly, it stops and then slowly descends from the sky. There's an electronic interference, some jamming, loss of communication across the board, and then suddenly spaceships. So nobody dies, from square one, nobody dies. So, but the effects are pretty awesome. I'll give you that. So then everyone on the planet sees a person that they have loved in the past, be it a relative or an ex or, a lost son or something like that. Yes. What's up?
I don't mean to impose on anybody, but I'm homeless. I stay at a hotel with my 5-year-old, my 12-year-old, my 17-year-old. Everybody I talk to thinks I'm nuts. All I'm trying to do is keep a roof over my 5-year-old, my 12-year-old, my 17-year-old. It's supposed to go down 38 degrees tonight. The hotel charges $60 a night. If there's anything you could do or would you, 9 out of 10 people say no, but hell no. Before you even think about it, watch. As soon as I show you this, you're going to do the same thing everybody else stereotype me. There's my room key. There's $40. I'm only short $20 to go home. Is there anything you can do in your heart?
Well, I'm on my way to get me and my girlfriend food. Are you planning on staying in this area?
I was trying to go over to Walmart right now and get me some groceries because our kids have nothing to eat. And do you need change or something?
That's what I was. I was gonna get me and my girlfriend food, and then because the bank's closed, I was gonna get me and my girlfriend food, and then walk past through here to drop it off before I go see her. So.
Where are you gonna go get food at?
Olive Garden.
Oh, God,
but I've only got a big bill,
Wow. You don't think Wendy's would cash it for you?
Not unless I buy something, and I'm not going to Wendy's.
I'll go to Olive Garden and wait for you.
If you're willing to do that, that's fine with me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just trying to come up with $20.
I can give you 20.
There.
No problem.
I'll wait for it. Can
No
you get
problem.
a cigarette, I think?
Yeah, of course.
What's your name?
My name is Tim.
Tim? Must have a $100 bill.
I just got paid today.
Yeah.
That's, it was trying to treat me and my girlfriend to food.
Now all I'm trying to do is come up with $20 so I can pay my because you can feel how cold it is out here. It is getting colder. I know that what's going to happen is they're going to order your food, you're going to wait on it and then pay for it. If you could.
Yeah, I'll just tell them, hey, I need to pay for it soon so I can, give my friend here some money. It won't be a problem at
I
all.
wouldn't even tell them that. Just leave that part out. I've been at that restaurant now for 3 hours straight asking people.
Yeah.
And they already ran me off of Red Lobster and Outback. And all they got to do is get wind of me and rap. I ain't getting nothing. Here, let's go this way. It's a shortcut.
It doesn't matter, honestly.
Yeah, all you got to do is after you order your food, say I want to pay for it right now. And once you do, if you can come out and help me, that'd be great.
Of course.
That way I can go catch the bus and get home. You look like a rock star.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wouldn't even ask it if it wasn't for my children. And quite frankly, I think I'm getting pneumonia. I've been hacking and coughing and spitting up shit.
I'm sure the cigarettes help with that a lot.
right.
Every time one of my friends starts, every time one of my friends starts coughing, I tell him to light up another cigarette.
Stop it. You're making me different. Come on, you do that. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I wouldn't even ask it. If it wasn't for my children involved, I would be gone already.
Well, if I could do you more, then I would.
No,
But I got,
I'm happy
you know,
with that. I appreciate it. I'm going to sit right here and wait for you.
that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to call my wife and let her know I'm on my way home. Thank you, sir.
Yep. I'll be right back.
All right, man. Appreciate it. What are you doing, man?
More on that in just a minute. Okay, now I am almost home, completing my trip from Olive Garden. I don't know how much audio of that was caught, but there was a gentleman that asked me if I could give him $20 because he was staying in a hotel with his kids. His son broke the remote control. The hotel was gonna kick them out. His kids were waiting on the curb or something like that. I didn't like the whole story is there if it caught the audio. I'm not sure if it did or not. But anyway, he asked me for $20. Take note, earlier today I wanted and I didn't mention this to anybody at all actually, but earlier today I wanted to kind of pay it forward, and I had the thought in my mind, when I was up at the mall, I had the thought in my mind of wanting to kind of contribute a little bit of money towards somebody else's meal or whatever, and I didn't know, how much would be good or how much would be bad or whatever, and I didn't know a good way to go about doing it without having that awkward, well, thank you, or you didn't have to do that, or whatever. So I ended up not doing it. And then the thing just kind of presented itself. And, I was put in that situation where, I could give this guy $20, or no, I could tell him, just like everybody else apparently has, that I can't give him $1. And I was truthful with the guy. I was like, all I have in my pocket is a $100 bill. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a $100 bill. 'Cause that's all the money I have until next paycheck. So either you can come with me to Olive Garden and get my food with me and get your 20, or have a nice day. And if this guy is really in need of money, well, he's going to come with me. And if he's not, well, then he's not. So he came with me. And I went inside and paid for my food, came back outside, and gave the guy the 20. Said, you have yourself a wonderful evening. And he was very thankful. And while I was waiting inside, I made mention to the guy that was, putting my order in, that I wanted to pay before I got my food, because I kind of wanted to pay it forward a little bit to somebody that was outside. And another customer that was sitting at the bar overheard me, and he's like, that's an awesome thing to do. That's very Christian of you. And he's like, he looked me up and down, and of course I'm wearing my trench coat and my top hat, and he's like, you are a Christian, right? It's like, sorry, I can't say that I am. I went outside and gave the guy the 20, smoked another cigarette with him, and then I came back inside, sat down. The guy that took my order gave me a drink, so while I was waiting, and had a slight conversation while I was waiting for my food with the gentleman that asked me if I was Christian. And he's like, well, "You seem Christian." And I said, "You know, I respect all religions, and I kind of studied a little bit of each and every one, and you know, that's about the end of it." Because I did, you know, when you go into somebody that's straight Christian or Catholic, that you're a pagan, they usually don't want to talk to you. So didn't want to throw this guy too off. But anyway, I'm already home. So I'm going to cut this off again, drop off my food, and hopefully finish my story about Childhood's End. Hopefully, if there aren't any other interruptions. And I'll be back in another moment. So, needless to say, there was another interruption of sorts. It is now almost 11 p.m. I am in the back lot of a parking lot, smoking a cigarette. Decided I needed to come over here to try and finish what I started one more time. So, Childhood's End. I'm just going to jump to the chase. Let's say every episode's an hour and 40 minutes long, or an hour 45, something like that. So it's almost 2 hours long. 3 episodes, that's almost 6 hours of something to watch, honestly. And if you have the free time, I would strongly recommend that you do, because it is a very good series. The only problem that I have with it is that it drops a religious aspect in the very first episode, and it continues that religious aspect throughout the entire three episodes. But it's not like in your face. It is, you know, it's there. It's probably enough to piss off a few people, but it's not like, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I do have, here's the spoiler part. Everyone dies. And the end of the movie, the beginning of the movie is in 2016. The end of the movie, I would like to say, is in let's say 80 plus 15 plus carry the 5. I don't know, 2136. A random ballpark number, but I'm sure someone can do the math and figure out exactly when the movie's supposed to have ended. But so over the course of 6 hours, you jump from 2016 to like 100 years in the future. And when I say everyone dies, I don't mean all the main characters die. I mean everyone. The world goes boom. And it's kind of awesome. So yeah, that was the spoilers. And I probably ruined it for you. But watch it. So I'm going to end my rant today. Sheer act of randomness. And instead of sheer act of randomness, I will log out with this. If you are ever presented in a situation where you have the ability to pay it forward, and I'm not talking about a dime or a nickel or a dollar, I'm talking about $20, like I did today. I'm talking about even $10, even $5. You come across a homeless guy while you're walking out of a store and you're like, hey, he could use a meal. Not a dollar, but a meal. If you have it, you know, don't go out of your way and spend every dollar in your wallet. You know, obviously make sure that you have your bills covered and make sure you take care of yourself. But if you have the ability to provide someone else, a complete random stranger, not somebody you know, not somebody that you're like, hey, he'll pay me back. No, somebody you don't know. Even if you're just going through the drive-through of a McDonald's and you're like, hey, I don't care what the people behind me ordered, I want to pay for their meal too, because I can today. Do it. Because random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness. Have a good evening.